Yo, what is Ren here? And guys, the college football playoffs are right around the corner. We got round one happening on December the 20th. Indiana versus Notre Dame. It's gonna be a great matchup. But my favorite matchup has to be the Tennessee versus Ohio State. It's at Ohio State. They got Ohio State favored to win, I think, by 7 points. It is going to be a great match. To me, this is a must-win for Ohio State, and we'll get into that in a little bit later. But I got some numbers now. Disclaimer: I am not a college football expert. I don't know all the stats, everything like that. I did a little research just to kind of, show I kind of know what I'm talking about. But I'm just a person who loves college football. One of my favorite games, like when I first started watching college football, had to be 2006, the Rose Bowl. Of course, you got Vince Young scoring the game-winning touchdown against USC, who had Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Lindell White. Like, it was a great team. That game, it changed my whole aspect and view on football. Like, I love college football. And so I'm excited that we got 12 teams now. It makes it more fun. And so Ohio State versus Tennessee. Of course, it's at Ohio State. It's going to be a little chilly. It's probably Tennessee, they're in the South, but it's not necessarily the South. It's like mid-South. And so I think they could be okay with the cold weather. Probably not as accumulated, or is that the right word? I think it's the right word. Not accustomed to the cold weather like Ohio State. Now, this is 8 versus 9. Some key wins that Ohio State had. They beat Penn State 20-13, and they beat Indiana 38-15. Both those teams are in the college football playoffs. Now, some key losses. They got some bad ones, okay? Losing to Oregon. I picked Ohio State to beat Oregon in that game. They lost to Oregon 32-31. Now, I thought this was going to be Oregon's welcome to the Big Ten game, and Ohio State was just going to show them, like, hey, it's different out here. That's not, I mean, they had a good chance to win. Last drive, Will Howard, 10 seconds left. They got one timeout. Will Howard drops back. He's looking. He takes off scrambling. And I'm like, they're in field goal range. Everything is good. He's going to get down. They're going to call timeout. He loses track of how much time is on the clock, and the clock runs out, and they lose the game. It was the craziest thing I think I've ever seen, just in sports in general. And so they lose to Oregon, and then they lose to Michigan. That Michigan one, that was a tough one. Of course, you got them planting the flag in the midfield and the logo and everything, and it turns into a fight. And then Ryan Day is the head coach, like his explanation, it was like, man, like, this is bad. So they lose 13-10. That was just a bad loss. Now, Tennessee had some pretty good wins. They beat Kentucky. They beat a good South Carolina team. They beat Alabama. Like, those are great wins. But they lose to Arkansas. Of course, this thing is 19-14, and it's at Arkansas. I'm a SEC guy, and so in my mind, any road game in the SEC is tough. And so they lose to Arkansas. Then they lose to Georgia. And so Georgia, of course, they're in the college football playoffs. They lose to Georgia. Georgia put up 31 points on them. And so this is, I think both of these teams, I'm not going to say must wins. I feel like for Ryan Day, it is definitely a must win for him. Losing to Michigan 4 years in a row. Josh Heupel, like, I think he's doing a great job in Tennessee, and he's building something. Like, I feel like Tennessee hadn't been anything, I ain't gonna say since Peyton Manning was there, but they hadn't really, like, I don't know, lived up to par. I feel like they've been 1 or 2 games out. And so I think this is a good chance for them. And so I'm excited. Now, these two teams, they're ranked. I don't think it's going to be high scoring because both of them are ranked in the top 5 in total defense. And so you got Ohio State. They're actually ranked number 1. They got the best defense in the nation. Tennessee is ranked number 5. And so it is going to be, I think, a low-scoring game. I say low-scoring, like maybe 28, 24, something like that. Nothing crazy. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I think it's going to be great. And so Ohio State, of course, they got some key players. They got Quinshon Judkins. You got Travion Henderson, Jeremiah Smith, Emeka. You got all these, like athletes. Tennessee, on the other hand, I'm not going to say they don't have athletes. Of course, you got Nico. I don't know how to say his last name, and I'm not going to attempt. I don't want to attempt and just mess it up. But you got Nico, you got Dylan Sampson. They're on offense. I think they're great. I don't think they match up like as well as Ohio State. I don't think they match up as like good as offensively. Now defense, I think they both have a great front. The front four for Ohio State, with JT, with Jack Sawyer, but Tennessee's as a whole too, they're great too. And so I think where Tennessee might lack in the secondary against some of these great receivers like Jeremiah Smith and Emeka, I think if the front four can put pressure on Will Howard, that's when Ohio State might be in trouble, because Will Howard has proven that, hey, you put a little pressure on him, he don't make the best decisions. Now, I ain't gonna say all the time. Now, just based off of from what I've seen, the couple games and like the highlights that I've been watching. And so I think there's a good chance. I think with Ohio State, of course, with Nico, like I feel like Tennessee, is a little bit more balanced with their run. They do rely a lot on Dylan Sampson, but Nico, he can throw it, but he also can do a little bit with his legs. And so I think Tennessee, they're gonna have to play, this sounds very cliche, play their best game of the year, because if not, I don't know if they have enough to beat Ohio State. And so my prediction is I got Ohio State winning. I normally don't like picking Ohio State, or I don't like picking against SEC is what I was trying to say, just my SEC bias. But I feel like this is a must-win for Ryan Day. I think this is a chance to avenge. It really doesn't avenge it that Michigan lost. I think losing to Michigan, how they lost, might have been the best thing for them. Because like if they're not motivated now, I don't know what's going to motivate them. And so I think they got a really, really good chance to beat them. With it being, if it was a neutral site, I honestly would pick Tennessee. But I think with it being up in Ohio State, it's going to be cold. It might be snowing. Who knows? I think that is going to be a factor. I think Josh Heupel, he's doing a great job in Tennessee, but I think Ryan Day is coaching for his career. If not, he might be gone. And so they just need something. Like I feel like Ohio State, like have had like great teams that just didn't come through. I think about like the CJ Stroud teams and stuff like that. But I think this could be a year now. They can make it through round one. I don't know what's going to happen around round two. I forgot who they would end up playing. But I got Ohio State winning this matchup. And so we will see. I got Ohio State, the Buckeyes, bouncing back from a horrible loss. And just maybe this gives Ohio State the fans something to cheer for. And so that's who I got winning. Tell me down in the comments who y'all got winning this matchup. Give me a score prediction. Like, what do you think is going to be high scoring? Give me exact score. We might do... I ain't going to do it. I was about to say we're going to do a giveaway for the high... Like, if anybody can guess the correct score. But anyway, that's all I have for y'all. I'm going to give y'all some more game predictions here in the next video. Y'all have a blessed day.